Today I got to ride the Black Ninja out to an area that is typically prone to flooding, out past Lincoln Park. And as I passed the golf course on Lincoln Park, I noticed about half of it was underwater. The lakes in the area were right up to the street. And I thought, well, this rain ended a few days ago, but the flooding never really subsided. But we're looking at very soon to see some leaves on the trees. I don't know if that's coming sooner or later. It was really cold today. It was warm the last couple of days, and all of a sudden it's right back to being like a winter day. But nothing is going to stop us from getting a ride. Now, I did the 500-hour restoration on this, and there's no part of this that, whether it's cold, chance of rain, or whatever, it's always a good day to ride. Once again, we wake up in the morning and the temperature has dropped like a stone. Man, I don't know what. Flowers are blooming, flowering trees are flowering, and we're expecting nice warm temperatures. Looks like spring is a little late coming, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to try to get out on the open road. First thing, of course, we always have to move some motorcycles. Now, it's always a problem when you have a small garage, and Karen seems to think too many motorcycles. But anyway, it's always every morning moving around. The normal pre-flight that I try to do before every day includes checking the air on the tires. Most important thing, because when it gets colder like this, the temperature drops and the air pressure can drop a pound or two. And sometimes if you're on the bottom edge of that, it can be a problem. I like to clean the bike up a little bit before I go, and I just enjoy myself. It's a personal thing. I enjoy having a nice clean motorcycle. And the most important part of the whole thing, get that radar detector plugged in, because they are out to get us. And while we're waiting for that coffee to brew and checking out, everything's under a heating vent. It'll sit there for a day or two before we do the clear. We're going to wait for a really, really nice day. I hope one is coming very soon. It is really too cold to paint out there right now. Too cold for me anyway. But this is going to be when we're done, it's going to be a really good match. The problem is with this paint, the only thing I see different is the thickness of the flake is a little bigger. But the color, when it's out in the sun and you see it, it looks a lot better than it does under fluorescent light. Luckily, we don't ride our bikes under fluorescent lights. But that was quite an ordeal getting that painted the other day. And that wind was howling. But today it's just plain cold. Pretty soon we're going to see some green leaves on the trees and see a few less of these brown leaves everywhere. But it's still, we thought summer was going to be here, spring or whatever. Today was not a spring day by far. And it's just good to see, and this is one of the few times we've been up, and there is no ice at all on any of the lakes, not whatsoever. I think that's safe to say we have seen the end of the ice fishing for the year. But I'm never really confident about those predictions. This day was shocking how cold it was. Now this bike is really in its elements on these back roads where the traction is not really as good as it would be on a main road, and you always have some stuff blowing out into the road or some wet spots. And the Michelin 2s, they're coming up to the end of their life here. Pretty soon we're going to need some new tires on this guy. Now this is one of the first bikes we experimented with lowering the forks. I've moved them up and down and found what I think is the best compromise spot. I've had them lower and I've had them higher, but the spot they're at now, it's got a nice crisp turn in on these really twisty switchback roads. And one thing's worked out better than I ever thought it would. It was that new radar detector box with all the wires in it. That has made such a nice improvement in the visibility looking forward and seeing the instruments. Really, that's really a good upgrade. Now you might notice all along the ride today, the yellow forsythias are out in full force. Some of the flowering trees are just starting to bloom, and the tree in front of my house is just starting to bloom. Beautiful time of year to be out on a motorcycle. I just wish it were a little bit warmer. I'm ready for spring. Now, one thing I really like about this bike, this is really a bike that sneaks up on you. It's not loud, it's not obtrusive, and you come up over a hill and on the other side there's some law enforcement. They don't even know you're there. So it's really, really a sneaky bike. Sneaky good and sneaky good handling with those lower forks. Now, I put a whole winter, about 500 hours into the restoration of this bike. It's a 2009, and on a day like today, I feel like I'm riding a brand new bike. And all the carbon fiber parts I made for this bike, I think there's 7 or 8 of them, they have worked out so well, and it sneaks up on you how good they are. You don't notice them until you look really close and you go, wow, it's just not like a stock bike. I really like that. Now, another thing that makes this bike really, really enjoyable to ride, a super comfortable seat and linear throttle response. Totally linear. And combined with some nice low-end torque. Now, I kept track of the mileage today, and the mileage was just under 50 miles a gallon. I got 150 miles, and I put in just a tad over 3 gallons. So the mileage is even good on this bike. I have really not kept accurate track up until today. Now we're coming up on 32,000. I think the next ride will surpass the 32,000. And this bike has absolutely been like a refrigerator. Totally reliable. Absolutely nothing has ever broken on this bike. But every good day ends, and it's that what I think is the worst part of the day, that ride back on Route 80 that's kind of boring. But the bike has a really comfortable seat, and I have gotten used to the idea that as soon as I pull in that driveway, Karen will be out there telling me that the coffee's on, and there'll be some snacks this afternoon, and maybe it'll warm up by tomorrow. You never can tell. So it was yet another good day on a Ninja, the Black Ninja, the famous Black Ninja. And this bike has been, it's an 09, in 13 years that we've had it, 32,000 miles. It has just been a wonderful bike, a load of fun to ride. It's never broken. I've never even gotten a flat tire with this bike. And I added to my list of bikes that I would never trade. I don't sell bikes. I guess I'm lucky. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, hope you did enjoy the video. We post every day. Thanks for watching.